Hi, welcome back to Feel Food Factor. Today it's all about Ganesh Chaturthi. Now that it's festive season, I'm so excited to make the Ganesha all by myself and also varieties of offerings of prasadam for Ganesha. So I'm making the Ganesha with a terracotta clay for the first time. But earlier I used to make the Ganesha idols with the gray or the white clay that is easily available in the market. But this time I did not find it, so I had to buy the terracotta clay. It is a little bit difficult than the regular clay that we get because this is a little bit on the sticky and slippery texture, so it's not so easy to handle. But it took 2 hours for me to finish the entire Ganesha idol, but it is worth it because the end result and the look, the pinkish color, that the natural color of the mud or the clay, it is so beautiful, and it's so intoxicating. It's very nice. And also this is eco-friendly, so I ordered natural clay which has no toxins in it. So yeah, I'm so happy with the end result. So initially I started off with the base, which is called a pitam, and then the legs, and then the tummy part, and then the shoulder part. I just came from down to up as usual. So I've also made the shoulder part into a cylindrical shape clay, and then I molded it completely. So all is about all you need to do is just keep wetting your hands, keep a bowl of water, and make sure that you soften the edges and uh, connect all the parts with the water so that it all stays and sticks together. It is a little bit of work, but it's definitely worth it. So I'm making this Ganesha. I didn't make it one last year, but earlier I used to make it. Every year I do make it here. But then when I was in my previous apartment community, I had some of my friends asking me to make Ganesha for them. That time Arka was not born yet, so I had a lot of time to make Ganeshas for my friends also. But this time it's only for me. Yeah, but it is a tough job. It takes about 2 hours to finish one idol. Initially Arka started helping me, but then he didn't like the texture of the clay. He thought that it is play-doh and he came to play along with me, but later he realized it's too sticky and slimy for him to handle it, and he left it to me. And yeah, I was happy because I was able to finish my job. See, it is coming into shape now, like the body, the head, and now I'm ready to make the hands. So I made the hands in such a way that one hand has the offerings of laddu or modak in the Ganesha's hand, and the other hand is blessing us. So it is a very simple Ganesha. I did not do any extra decorations or anything like that. The only thing I put here is a bindi that I regularly use, that bindi, and also two cloves for his eyes. So it's very simple. The markings are also very simple. I gave one thread that they which is called the Yagyopavitam, and then I made a tusk trunk because Vinayaka or Ganesha is called Ekadanta because he has only one tusk, so I added one tusk. Yeah, it's pretty nice. Look at the color; it's so natural. I'm loving it. The white or the gray clay, it does not give this kind of elegant look, I guess. This is looking more beautiful, and it's also very easy to make. I mean, if you have an idea of what parts you want, like you just need a simple Ganesha with legs, hands, tummy, head, and maybe a crown. That's it. It's so easy. But if you want to add extra hands and add in any book or pen, generally Vinayaka has all these books and pens in his hands. You can as well do that if you're a crafty kind of person, but I'm not that kind, very artistic and crafty and all. So I did it very simply and also used the tools that I had at home, like a paintbrush and a toothpick. Yeah, so my Ganesha is all ready. He's looking so cute. And now for the offerings, this is sweet vada. For that, I've taken 1 cup of urad dal, the whole urad dal, white ones, and about a teaspoon of rice. I'm going to wash it 2 or 3 times until the water runs through clear, so that all the starch or any dust or any other particles in the dal and rice, they just go away. And all you need to check is that the water is clear. So after washing it, and you're going to soak this dal and rice for about 4 hours. So after soaking for 4 hours, the dal is all puffed up nicely. And if you pinch the dal with your fingers, you should be able to break it easily into pieces. And that is how you'll know that the dal is ready for grinding. See, the dal is, I could break it very easily. So now I'm going to discard all the water that we soak. We do not need any water for this recipe. So I've taken jaggery or gur, the same amount of dal, it's equal proportions of dal and gur or jaggery. And now I'm going to grind it into a very smooth paste, and I'm not adding any water here. So after making a smooth paste like this, I'm going to beat this a mixture for a few minutes, so that it turns out to be very fluffy, and once it is cooked, you will find nice aeration and it's all fluffy from inside and crispy from outside. So now that my batter is ready, generally this dish is deep fried, but I tried to make it in the appe pan, so it turned out pretty well. And also it is not deep fried, so yeah, it's pretty healthy also. And it hardly took 5 minutes extra to make this complete dish, because generally when you deep fry it, cooks quickly, but this is also a very quick process. You see, there is already turning into nice brown color. So I was cooking it in on a low flame, because if you cook it on high flame, it will not cook from inside. It will still be sticky, and all the dough will remain as it is. So just wet your hands, make a small ball, and drop it into the potholes. And it's very easy. It doesn't take much time either. So I have used coconut oil here, so you can use any oil of your choice, but it definitely tastes good with coconut oil. You can try it once with coconut oil. So after they all turn nice and brown, it gives a dark brown color because of the jaggery that we are using. So this sweet vada is all ready. So once you remove it from the flame, it is very soft, but as it cools down, it hardens. Like it becomes crispy on the outside, but still soft and fluffy on the inside. You can see how soft it is. The sweet vadas are all ready for the offering. And I'll also make another dish now, that is sabudana vada. See, this sabudana poha vada, it's also vrat friendly. So first all we have to do is wash the sabudana 3 to 4 times until it turns clear like this. So I'm going to soak this sabudana for about 3 to 4 hours. And all you need to do is just soak it until the sabudanas are just dipped in the water. So after 4 hours, I discarded all the water, and I strained it and kept it aside so that any remaining water goes off. And for the same amount of sabudana that I initially used, I used the same glass to measure the poha also, the same cup measurement. So I soaked the poha for about 5 to 10 minutes until it turned soft. So for I'm using just very simple ingredients. I finely chopped ginger and green chilies, and then curry patta or curry leaves, and then coriander or hara dhania. So I also took about 3 tablespoons of peanuts, and I crushed them. I mean, it's like coarsely crushed, not any powder. So I'm taking the sabudana into a mixing bowl now. And now I'm going to squeeze all the water from the poha and add it to the sabudana, soaked sabudana. So the sabudana quantity doubles and the poha quantity comes to half because it's soaked. And now I added 2 tablespoons of besan, or chickpea flour, and then the crushed peanuts, and then the coriander, curry leaves, ginger and green chili, and then I'm going to add in a little bit of hing. So I'm going to add about 1 teaspoon of jeera and 1 teaspoon of ajwain or carom seeds, and also add salt to taste. So after adding all these ingredients, we're going to squeeze and mix this and form into like a dough. So once the dough is ready, wet your hands with water and take a ball size of the dough into your hands. So wet both your hands, or you can grease them with oil and pat them on like flat vadas on your hands, and you can drop it in hot oil, but be very careful while you're dropping them in oil. And sabudana, as it already has a glue kind of texture, it is soggy. So what it does is it naturally gives a binding agent to the vada, so it does not get split and it's very easy to make. See, these vadas are easy. The reason is, I mean, there is a soaking time of 3 to 4 hours, but you can skip the grinding process, and but you can still enjoy the crispiness of the vadas. So generally we in South India we make medu vada to offer to the god, and we regularly make that for any kind of auspicious events, or even for any offerings to the god. But these are a kind of different offering, and because everything is vrat friendly here, so I did not use any item that is not vrat friendly, so this is good to offer to the god. So now that the sabudana vadas are ready, I am patting them on a paper towel so that the excess oil is all absorbed. This does not absorb a lot of oil either. So it's very nice, very light, not so heavy food. And see how nice and soft they are on inside, but outside they're super crispy and crunchy, because all the sabudana that you take a bite into, they're like so crunchy and you will love them. So the next recipe that I am showing today is temple style tamarind rice or pulihora. For that I cooked 1 cup of rice, just adding a little bit of turmeric. And now the other ingredients goes are mustard seeds, and then peanuts, urad dal, chana dal, curry leaves, dry red chili, green chilies. And I've taken a big lemon size of tamarind here. I'm going to soak it in boiling hot water. So because if you soak that in water, it will, I mean, the tamarind pulp will be extracted easily. Apart from that, I'm also adding salt and turmeric, and hing is important to make any kind of pulihora or tamarind rice especially. So I've added hot water to this tamarind now. So for the temple style, generally what they do is they add methi and also mustard seeds in equal portions. So now I've added like 1/4 teaspoon of methi seeds, and also I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of mustard seeds. I'll fry them until, I mean, dry roast them until they are nice and brown. And to that I'm adding 1 full teaspoon of till seeds or sesame seeds. I don't want the sesame seeds to be brown, that's why I added it a little later. So these release a nice aroma. We'll roast them until the aroma is all released. Now that it's all ready, what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a paste out of this. So I'm using a mortar and pestle. If you want, you can grind it in a mixer grinder, but I prefer it because it's a very less quantity. I prefer doing it with my hands. So first I'm going to make it into a powder, then add about 1 tablespoon of water and make it into a fine paste. So this paste I am going to use it to mix in the rice later. I'll show you how to do it. So now that my tamarind is all soaked for about 20 minutes, I'm going to squeeze out all the pulp. So if you see there is more pulp in the tamarind, again you can use the same water to soak for about 5 to 10 minutes, and you can redo it again, like squeezing it again. So now that the tamarind pulp is ready, for this amount I have only used 1 tablespoon of jaggery. See, the tamarind pulp is all ready. And now to the cooked rice, what I'm going to do is I'm going to add 2 to 3 tablespoons of sesame oil. So whenever we offer anything to the god, after ghee, sesame oil is the best. And I'm also adding a salt that is required only for the rice right now, and I'm going to add salt in stages for this. So I'm going to mix this and keep it aside. So in the meanwhile, I'm going to make the tamarind paste that we are going to mix in this rice later. So for that, I've added 1 teaspoon of oil, and once the oil is hot, I'm going to add some dry red chilies. I've added 2 dry red chilies here because they are very spicy. I got the very spicy ones. And also I'm going to add in some curry leaves. I'm going to add half curry leaves here and half curry leaf while I'm doing the tadka. And also I'm going to add in some mustard seeds. So after adding the mustard seeds, I'll wait until they splutter. The mustard seeds is about half a teaspoon, not more than that, because again I'm going to use it for the tadka also. So after the mustard seeds splutter, that's when I will add the tamarind pulp that we extracted earlier, that goes into this vessel. Make sure that it is a heavy bottom vessel because the tamarind, you need to boil it until it becomes really thick. So if it is a heavy bottom pan, it will not get stuck at the bottom. So once you see the boiling has started in this tamarind pulp, that's when you will add the jaggery and also salt and turmeric at this stage. See, I am again adding salt that is enough only for the tamarind pulp that we are making now. So we will let this boil for about 10 to 15 minutes until this becomes nice and thick, and also the color changes. You will notice the color to be dark brown. Now, right now it is a little bit reddish brown, but once everything is nice boiled nicely, that's when the color will change completely. So now I'm doing the tadka in a different pan. I'm adding 3 tablespoons of sesame oil again. So once the oil is hot, I'm going to start off with peanuts because peanuts take a little bit more time to get roasted. That's why I'm adding the peanuts first. And then one by one, I'm going to add in the mustard seeds, chana dal, urad dal. Everything goes into this pan now for the tadka. So we will roast them on low flame only. We have to be a little patient here because if this gets burnt, it doesn't taste nice. It doesn't taste good at all. And also I'm adding some dry red chilies, green chilies, hing, curry leaves, everything here one after the other, but then in stages because we want all the dals that are added to the oil, they need to be fried until they are crunchy and they turn brown color. Nice brown, the golden brown. See, look at the color of the peanuts. They are like so nice and pinkish, right? They're so beautiful. So now everything is fried well. I'm adding hing. I add hing. I mean, I generously add hing. So hing is always again your preference, less or more, but don't skip it. Hing is a must. And then I added curry leaves also. And once they splutter, I'm going to add in all this tadka to the rice that we mixed earlier with salt and oil. So mix in the tadka here and again set it aside. So by the time I finished all this, my tamarind pulp also is nice and boiled nicely. Now I'm going to mix that sesame and the methi paste that I made earlier. I'm going to mix it into the pulp and I'll just let it boil for maybe a few seconds or less than a minute until it starts bubbling again. I don't want this paste to be cooked because we already roasted it. It doesn't need any more cooking and also it sticks to the bottom of the pan. Now that the pulp is all ready, while the rice is still hot, we are going to mix in this pulp into the rice and make sure that you mix in with a little bit of force, because I mean, just mixing it with a spoon does not help. Even if you're mixing with a spoon or ladle, make sure you press the rice and mix it well. That is when the tamarind pulp is absorbed by the rice evenly. So after mixing it, make sure that you change it into a different vessel which is small and compact. All you need to do is just press it down really tight so that all the flavors are absorbed pretty well. So after 2 hours, once the rice is all nicely puffed up and all the flavors are absorbed, this is how it looks like. Isn't it delicious? So I'm sure my Ganesha is so happy this time with all these nice offerings. And let me know how you like it in the comment section. Like, share, and subscribe to Feel Food Factor.